The exhibitions have been absolutely fantastic, and you know what? We got to do another prediction. And for me, who is the best player in the West Coast? The number 1 versus number 2, Afro Samurai style. Nephew versus ChrisCCH. I mean, these two go back and forth when it comes to, I like to call it a results rivalry. They just go back and forth. The CPTs, the Intel World Opens, coming back to the CPTs as well. And then ChrisCCH had an amazing showcase at the Red Bull Kumite Vegas, coming third. Only losing to NL and Problem X.
A really big breakout year for Chris. Chris is a young player that obviously, you know, he's on the West Coast, but he's not a California-based player, and that's very important to remember because a lot of the shine and focus on that West Coast is always directed on California. I've been watching Wednesday Night Fights, and let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, his Luke is an absolute terror. He won 3 in a row.
Well, look, I mean, last year's exhibitions for the season for 2020, Nephew beat Samurai in that. Maybe he can uphold his exhibition win streak by beating ChrisCCH here. Or again, ChrisCCH is going to just stamp his foot down and say, listen, respect me, put some respect on my name, and let you know what's up happening in this exhibition. But you know what? Again, Nephew versus ChrisCCH, I think at this point we might have to call it a West Coast classic album or something, a timeless classic, because these guys never fail to deliver.
All right, then, let's get into it. It is time. The West Coast is stepping up, and it is going to be Nephew, who I guess we considers the old guard now, up against the young buck, ChrisCCH. Let's throw it back to the studio. Over to you guys.
Thanks again to Jammers and to Logan for profiling these players here we have on the West Coast. It's going to be Nephew and ChrisCCH. Joining me, as you can see, it's a whole gaggle of new folks. We got Punk up here, we have Rob TV back, we have St. Cola, and we have Vicious as well. Let's start by going to Punk. Punk, can you talk to me about how you're feeling about the match between these two players?
Well, first and foremost, you know, I want to say that I'm very happy that I get to talk about the West Coast because this is a region I feel like in America is not celebrated as much, and I think they are very strong. And, you know, I'm going to give myself a little credit here. I did live there for a year, and I will say I watched the progression of both these players. Nephew, of course, I lived with for a year, and then Chris, you know, I used to play him in Wednesday Night Fights a lot, and, you know, back then I feel like he definitely improved so much now that is actually crazy. It's like looking at a whole new player, and he's just so good. And, you know, Nephew and Chris, I feel like they have a lot of back and forth, and is a bit of a rivalry there. Nephew beat Chris in, I think, both of the CPTs, but then Chris beat Nephew in the Evo tournament. So, you know, there's a back and forth here, but now you have a new character coming into play here. The new character, which will be Luke. And when you talk about Luke versus Kolin, Luke is very favored in that matchup. I would say it's very hard for Kolin to, you know, just even get started, even with having V-trigger and all that stuff. Yeah, it's just very hard for her to get around just the fireball in general. And then once you get around the fireballs, he probably does have better buttons than her in general. So it's just so much to look out for. And, you know, I expect to see maybe a one-sided match, to be honest with you. I don't know what Nephew can do much. And I love Nephew, but yeah, I feel like Chris, his Luke is amazing, and then the matchup is just so bad that I would say that Chris is going to take this convincing.
Wow.
What do you got, Rob?
You know, honestly, I feel like ChrisCCH and Nephew, they mirror each other in so many ways. I think that both of them are on meteoric rises right now, but they're just in different parts of their journey, even though they both have the same trajectory. Nephew, of course, is at a spot right now where I would say that he is he's already like where would I put it? I think me and Neff are like similar skill levels, to be honest. I mean, of course, my man ChrisCCH is already talking trash. I heard about that, talking about Nephew beat me in the exhibition match and all that. But obviously, that means that my man is dead nice. But I think the big difference between them is that Nephew is more solidified, and that may be the deciding factor in this match. Nephew has already been on Street Fighter League for multiple seasons, you know, working with Panda Global, who we actually just recently departed with. And my man ChrisCCH, I would say that his big break just happened at Red Bull Kumite when he put on that amazing and inspiring performance. So I think that these guys definitely both want to get this win outside of just the financial side of things because of the rivalry that Punk brought up and because of the fact that they are both knocking on the door to what I would say is greatness. And the last thing that I would say is region-wise, just again, because Chris was talking crazy on on this desk. I cannot wait for us to finally lock in. I think that Punk exaggerated a little bit about the West Coast. They're good, but they are the, last place out of all three of these.
Are you going to forget the fact that, ChrisCCH had a wonderful performance over at the Intel World Open? Or he's going to skip over that fact? You're going to talk about the breakthrough year from ChrisCCH?
Right.
He's been dominating even years before that. When he was at the Geico tournament, he took down every single top hitter in a wide array of West Coast players. I got to say, man, I think, honestly, ChrisCCH saying that he's had a breakthrough performance this year is an understatement. I think he's one of the hottest cats right now in the West Coast with his character, and the fact that he's moved on to an even stronger character with Luke, I bet you will take down everyone at this desk.
What do you think, Saint?
Well, what I think is, I'll let Rob, answer that question a little bit later on. But what I will say is that despite having pretty similar paths to greatness, their play styles are so different. Nephew likes to hang back like that, get a little lame with it. ChrisCCH is a wild child, but he knows when to reel it in to get that win. He knows how to not take those risks. I feel like that the beginning of his play, like last year and the year before that, he used to be really risky with it a little bit more than he needed to, and now he's really tamed it down, and that makes those explosive moments even more dangerous. Same with Nephew. He's got these sides of bursts here and there, but I can't wait to see the fight between the two of the different clashes, the different play styles. And I also can't wait to see if ChrisCCH, pulls something from, behind the desk and just rips up the name of the paper or whatever. If y'all remember that from Red Bull Kumite, that was the meanest thing I've ever seen.
I would like to thank Filipino Man for that one.
Yeah.
That was the person
brilliant
that did it.
planning from the West Coast congregation there. That was really well done.
I did something right there.
With you talking about like the bit of the differences in their play style, one more thing I would say that mirrors each other that people might not think about is the fact that they were both more so people who were in their shell a bit early on, I would say. More quiet guys, you know what I mean? Maybe even you could say a bit shy. And, Nephew and the dark Neff character that's come about, him becoming the undisputed king of TikTok. I'm pretty sure he has the most followers in the world on TikTok outside of like Beyonce and Jake Paul. So
both of them combined.
Yeah, my man has actually, Nephew has popped out of his shell a whole lot. And then now seeing ChrisCCH come out here and, do commentary or doing this analyst work. He streams, we're seeing him work with orgs, and then with St. Kolin referenced right there, not a lot of guys will have the confidence, even though Anton thought of that. Chris executed it very well. Like we all know, man like Drake has ghostwriters, but Drake had to go out there and do it in the end of the day. ChrisCCH is kind of like, he might be the sixth guy.
Same thing.
How's it? How's it not?
I think what he's trying to say that he has to actually execute it for the most part, right? The planning could be done and everything, but he actually has to go out there and execute it.
Yeah.
But I think the point you made also with Nephew, I think a large proponent with that was being roommates with Punk. Punk, I gotta say, since Nephew has actually leveled up or played against you, there's been a significant difference, and I think, I gotta be honest, I think you're responsible for a good amount of that.
Yeah, I mean, thank you. I appreciate that. I don't like to take credit from people because, even if I can help him, it all boils down to if he can actually do it himself, so I can't really get on this, or I can't, talk to him and be like, yo, you can whiff punish this button, but he has to actually do it, right? I can only help him so much until he has to execute it. So, I feel like me living on the West Coast in general, which is maybe lit a fire in them. I feel like before I moved there, everyone was kind of lazy. They didn't really care to.
Damn!
I think
I feel you though.
It had the same kind of effect when Justin Wong moved from New York to California during the Street Fighter 4 era. Everybody had a fire lit under them, and we were just like, he came to invade, and we have to step it up. I think it had the same kind of effect. Once Punk hit the floor with Wednesday Night Fights, we had to step it up. We were forced to.
It's interesting that, Punk, you brought up their kind of back and forth match results. It's actually more than that. I checked it out on fgcombo.com, and actually the last 5 of the 6 times that they've played, Chris has taken it. So it's becoming a little bit. I mean, hard to say that's no longer back and forth, but it is more one-sided at this point. If you're Nephew, do you have any specific? I mean, you play Kolin a little bit yourself. Do you have any specific ideas for how to approach this matchup?
The biggest thing I could say is if you can somehow manage to get the health lead early on, then you can try to lay back a lot more and you can play with your V trigger a bit more. But honestly, and if you can't get the health lead at the start, which is most likely not the case most of the time, the matchup it's just really tricky. If I'm Nephew here, I'm not playing Kolin. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Okay.
I would pick another character. I don't think that's in Nephew's thing. We did see him play the Rose against Samurai, I think at one of the CPTs, but I don't think Rose is even enough to get the job done against Luke. So Good luck, nephew.
All right, all right. Well, we will see. Let's head out to James and Ringe for the commentary.
West to West, y'all, we have arrived at the Capcom season final. You know I got a lot of regional pride, James.
Oh, yeah,
Home
of
of the
course,
championship
of course.
Rams and all that, but actually, neither of these players are from SoCal. Nephew from NorCal by way of somewhere on the East Coast. I'm not exactly
Right.
sure. And ChrisCCH, I think there's a slight misconception that he spent some time in California. No, that man is Seattle through and through.
Yes.
Put some respect on the West Coast up there, the North. No Vince Staples, of course.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, it's so interesting to see these two players go up against each other. I mean, you know, all of us have been hanging out here this weekend. You cannot find two of the more soft-spoken, quiet guys over here, and these two are going to be going up against each other. Can we expect any Rob TV-like pop-offs?
Oh, nah. They'll let their game do their talking for sure, but you always got to watch out for the quiet ones, James. That's something I learned very early on in life. And both of these players, once you get to know them, once they get out of their shell a little bit, as our analyst alluded to, there's some funny guys, and they definitely got some spice to them. So we're going to see that in the gameplay as well. You know, we were talking about that Kolin versus the Luke. It's going to be tough for Kolin to get past those fireballs, and she just in general gets bullied by projectiles a lot. So every EX vanity step is going to be huge, right? Using that to try to get through some of these fireballs, hard call it out. It's going to be big. I also think he needs to stay at that stand heavy punch range. That will be his most effective button, to me at least.
Yeah, and it's really cool to hear Punk, you know, talk about the West Coast here. You know, for a while, I've even kind of believed that West Coast was kind of falling off a little bit, and that hurts me to see even admit that.
I understand.
But I remember when ChrisCCH, when we interviewed him at the CPT, he was saying that, nah, West Coast is as strong as ever, and this is their chance to show this right here. We get this Best Coast exhibition going right now.
And oh my goodness, you see all these back heavy kicks. And Nephew said the most pure thing I've ever heard a fighting game player say this weekend. He said, when I'm in back heavy kick range, I hit back heavy kick.
Right.
There's no, you know, some type of complicated formula to it. If I'm in range, I hit the button.
Right.
Ooh, speaking of being in range, though, the whip punish from ChrisCCH. And that's a key in this matchup. You can't whiff against Luke. You just get such a high reward.
Yeah, again, one of the things that makes Luke so strong, and a lot of players right now feeling like he's one of the strongest characters in the game, it's just got all those forward advancing normals, and it's, you know, in a game where, you know, reputedly like a lot of characters have stubby buttons except for that back heavy kick.
Yeah.
But when you have stubby buttons, having those kind of forward moving buttons that Luke has is very, very powerful.
And you heard one of the things Punk said was the key to victory was getting that life lead early and then being able to make Luke come to him, but already cornered up and then interrupted with that stand medium punch so strong.
And now here's the throw. That's plus afterwards. It's such a nice option to have.
Incredible. Ooh, just letting the V-trigger rock now. Yeah, utilizing the V-skill as well, get that charge up.
And here we
That's
go.
plus.
Here's the frame, I mean, the life advantage for ChrisCCH now. So this is where Punk was saying that this gets kind of hard.
Yeah, man. And you can see why ChrisCCH is backing
Too
off.
far.
Unfortunate. And then again, yeah, we'll see if Chris kind of tries to stay back on the crouch medium kicks, not always cancel into the fireball so he's going to get advantage step through. But Nephew hasn't been looking for it so far. Does get an STO.
Yeah, he's also been getting frame trapped by that crouching medium kick into the fireball a couple of times. Just trying to do something in between that. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Trying to tie it up. Oh my God!
It's
Ooh,
still
wasn't
anybody's
coming.
game. No counter hit, unfortunately.
Oh, that standing medium kick from Luke, it looks like it's short range, but the way that Luke pivots on that front leg, it's so deceptive of how far that button actually hits. It's such a good button.
You just can talk about every single button with Luke, right? Like, it's like, oh man, the jab is so good. The stand medium punch, the back medium punch, the forward fierce, the stand fierce. And then all those buttons are not even the stand medium kick, which we just saw is one of his best tools. And it's one of those things that Luke players really look for when they have that V-trigger to cancel into. That's how good it is, man. It's very fast, great range as well. So once again, it's going to be tough for Nephew. That's what our analysts predicted, and it's looking like it so far.
Yeah, and yesterday was kind of like the day of Luke, right? Like,
Yeah.
I think Luke won and you know, in the lounge, a lot of the players in the lounge were like, man, Luke is so good. He's so cheap. And you just see ChrisCCH just sitting to the side like, so.
Yeah, definitely earlier today, ChrisCCH and Nephew were talking about the merits of their characters and how strong each was. And Chris was doing his best to make it sound like Luke was, you know, comparable to Kolin. But right now, on display is this character's strength. You see the low forward confirmation.
And which is crazy, too, because obviously Kolin is such a good character as well, you know. But we'll see how this plays out here. Again, just can't get this life lead early on. This might help, and this will also be a lot of corner carry. We get the, oh no, going for the hail instead of the dashing forward. No anti-air.
Unfortunate, yeah. I thought he backed up to keep him locked in the corner, but he does have that.
All right, so here we go. You can see Neff right now trying to play a little bit more of a careful hit and run kind of game. Close to stun, baits out the DP, and here we go. Back throw for the most meter for the kill.
Yeah, I mean, when you test these high-level players, when their life's on the line, especially early on in the set, they like to let that EX-DP rip. Good stuff from Nephew.
It's what I always call the desperation uppercut. If you're about to be stunned or if you're about to be killed, they always go for that EX uppercut. One of the easier EX uppercuts to read for players.
Nasty buffer from ChrisCCH, yeah. The EX just actually challenged right after, too. You can see Nephew willing to press these buttons in negative frame scenarios.
Oh, what a challenge by ChrisCCH. Ooh. And now back to the corner, and here we go. Good. Ooh, what a backdash to avoid the throw. Nicely done by Neff.
Such a clutch backdash. Buys him so much real estate now, but you can see challenging from ChrisCCH again. Ooh, EX vanity step off the activation.
What was he trying to go for? Was he trying to go for a reset into a throw or something? Not sure.
And now ChrisCCH back to that bully game, even getting a V skill in here. Ooh, interrupts though. That is Kolin's way in, of course, that V-trigger movement. We're going to take the throw at this point. Doesn't want to eat more damage. Very smart. And another beautiful challenge from ChrisCCH.
Again, it's the situation where he wants to get in there. Nephew does. He wants to get in there and try to apply some pressure. And, you know, similar to the last match where we saw where KillsU was trying too hard to push in, kind of makes the forward movement a little bit easier to read.
Yeah, you see that instead heavy push whiffing goes with the back heavy kick. He knows that one's not going to whiff. Fireball in here, you see just checking with a crouch medium kick. And because the V-skill installed, it's going to be so much more damage. Yeah, look at that, getting the DP follow-up off that.
Charges up, and yeah, gonna punish. He saw the startup of the V-skill animation, so he knew he had the free punish. And here we go, here comes Nephew, trying to tie it up 1-1.
It's so important, you can't let this man out, but it activates. Plus frames here, and then the slam blast. He's keeping himself safe.
Out of V-triggers, you saw the punch, losing the little extra icicle range.
Yeah, man, Luke, he's just gonna sit on this V-trigger now, starting to build back up.
Yeah, that's the thing. When you're at that range, you're always micro-stepping to block that fireball, and so Chris read that, dashed forward, and threw him. Oh, here we go! What a confirm!
That's what I'm talking about from Nephew. Back heavy kick into the C8.
Oh, no!
Luke living on a magic pixel.
Oh, no.
How much magic you got in this, bruh?
Oh, no, where's the super?
No confirm off the Sandblast, so I'm not sure if that works or not, to be honest with you. V-skill installed. Spending some of that EX meter. Still anybody's game at this point. Ooh, gets in there. V-trigger is active once again.
Plus.
Installed. Oh, double KO on the draw game. You're kidding me. But it's the draw. That is each round for both sides.
That's a zero.
So
that doesn't count at all.
That's L's everywhere.
That doesn't count at all.
Yeah, we only handed L's, no W's. We replay in that game. That don't go on the W for either side.
Oh my God. All right. Well, you know what?
Wow.
I've been saying all weekend I wanted to see 9 games. Let's see 10 games. Let's do it. Let's do it.
I love this, man. Nephew's out here. He's willing to slug it out in these clutch situations. Pressing buttons up against ChrisCCH. Not scared whatsoever. I like the way he's playing it so far.
Yeah.
He's still down 1-0 in the overall set, but you can see, despite him kind of fighting from a deficit early just in the character matchup, he's doing it well, and he's showing that he's got a lot of heart.
Yeah, exactly. And so, you know, I almost kind of feel like for Nephew, that was almost kind of a win kind of a situation.
Right, it was morale.
Yeah, exactly. So not going down here. So let's keep going and see if he can tie this up 1-1.
Yeah, so unfortunate. And that CA was just a pixel away too. Ooh, this was something that I've seen Chris do in their sets before at Wednesday Night Fights. Really snipes out that double jump very effectively. Wow,
there
just
he goes.
challenging
Yeah.
after the Parabellum on hit. Called him a wild child. He just knows. He knows numbers are only a part of the tale.
Because that's the thing, right? That's the whole thing. As much as it's, you know, reading frame data, noting whose turn it is, it's about stealing those future turns. And if you can call out when players do that, that is the key right there. Oh, can he make it? Yo, he was able to block the hail in time.
Now, oh, no one just back to back with the Sandblast. He's getting the V-skill installed as well. Spins the rest of that V-trigger, but he's all good.
All right, chipping it. Oh, and there's the anti-air. Oh. But he went for the throw, and Chris with a micro walk backwards might have just walked himself outside of the range, but beautiful reaction to punish the whiff throw and take that round.
Oh, speaking of punishing, wow, catching the double jump for a full conversion. Chris is so good.
Yeah, you don't need half your life. You know, you're gonna. Oh, maybe
no.
you don't need any of your life. Is this gonna be a perp? No, actually, he doesn't have enough resources.
Oh, but lets him drop early, gets the throw reset. That's +1 again.
God, it's so good.
All right, the EX pick up. It's a long road for Nephew to travel on.
Oh, waking up with buttons. Chris, not scared at all. Maybe ready for Neff to try to go for the shimmy in that situation. Just woke up with a crouching light kick. Caught Nephew walking backwards. ChrisCCH 2-0 now.
Yeah, and you talked about how maybe that last game where it ended up being a tie could be a slight W for Nephew just because it wasn't an L. But when you're when you're playing the side of a matchup that struggles and you get so close to winning and then it gets snatched away from you, it's like all that mental energy that you had to expend, it just feels so wasted. And I feel like Nephew kind of let himself get a little tilted that last round. It was just tough to come back from.
Yeah, there's one thing that I always, talk about is the mental stamina of these kind of sets here. When you'll always see it, like for the players, and I'm sure a lot of people at home who play can experience this themselves. The longer a set goes, the worst decisions you start making towards the end because you just don't feel like you can play a whole game like, don't ever try to tech a throw because I don't want to get shimmied. And then by the end, you're like, oh, whatever,
Yeah,
So,
sure.
It's a dangerous situation. So you're right. After that round, I mean, all that work for Nephew not to get the win on the board might actually be more of an L for him.
Right now, yeah, just kind of annoying him with the parabellum pressure and push him towards the corner. Oh, he has punished that. Good stuff from Nephew. ChrisCCH just slightly missing that whip punish. He committed to it heavily.
Oh, no.
Speaking of commitment.
And see, those are kind of the good times to go for those EX uppercuts there when you're not about to die or not about to be stunned because it's less obvious, less telegraphed. And you just want to stop that momentum as well.
Yeah, with that V-trigger active, he's trying to get froggy with that stand heavy punch. He's pressed about 4 times since the V-trigger's been active.
How many times has... Oh, okay, here we go. Big jump in. All right, this is going to give him the life lead here and a corner position. Gets the hail just outside of the range. Nice throw tech by Chris. And this time, the shimmy is going to pay off. Oh, wait. No.
Not like this, bro. So close to getting another W and snatched away. Chris waking up with the crouch medium kick. You going to try to shimmy me? Nah, he's showing no fear.
We were talking about this in the back room. If you're going to call out a shimmy, go for it.
Yeah.
Go for it with your chest. Throw out that crouching medium kick and get your damage. And that's the way it is. And again, that's part of the Street Fighter, I always call it the RPS, the rock, paper, scissors. If you think the opponent's going to shimmy, that is how you punish them the most, is with those wake-up lows.
Oh my goodness, and then throwing him out of the EX parry. That was the first one that Nephew had shown this whole set. Gets countered immediately. Nephew just seems so far ahead.
And then checking the forward movement as well. You're stuck in the corner.
We are not steps ahead, we are streets ahead right now.
Oh yeah, just spend that V-shift to be safe. You have such a what? No. When things are going good, everything goes good. It's just one of those situations.
All right, Nephew though, trying to find some good fortune of his own. Right into the corner, just waiting out the EX, tries to call out with a vanity step, but at least he's in close.
Yeah, he needs to get the sequence. Oh my, the buttons. The buttons. Again, look, Kolin's crouching medium kick, what a nice button, right? Great range, plus on block, but it can't be canceled.
No.
Luke, he's like, yeah, I'm just going to cancel the Sand Blaster. Why not? Let's just do it. And yeah, ChrisCCH, Punk said it. He feels like it might be pretty high in favor of ChrisCCH, and it's looking that way.
It's hard. It really feels like if you're Kolin in the matchup that you have to play perfect once you get in. And ChrisCCH is just so good. We've seen a couple of EXDPs working out, and he's just one of those players that you see he's willing to risk his whole life to put some fear in your heart.
Yeah.
Whether it be with the EXDP on wake up, whether it be with the crouch medium kick. I love his confidence in his defensive choices because he's not just doing something that puts him back in neutral. It's something that gives him the whole momentum swing of the game.
And it's crazy too because this is Kolin we're talking. It's so weird to talk about how, like, her from like a disadvantaged standpoint because I feel like this character is so strong. Nephew has had so much success with this character. We see Punk using this character every once in a while. Kawano with the
no. Again, yeah, sniping out that double jump so you get the follow-up. Oh, tries for the overhead. Not going to happen, but it's so far away that the button Nephew puts out just gets whiff punished. You see a couple of whiff jabs for style points. My man ChrisCCH is out here.
ChrisCCH now. And, you know, sometimes you throw those little things like that, you know, the style points out there. Why do you do that? You're just trying to get into your opponent's head, man. It's just like, I'm winning so easily, I can just have a little fun.
Exactly. Whether it be frame kill, style points, it don't matter. It's sending a message. Ooh, great interruption on the flash double, though. You can't let yourself get bullied by that.
Okay, here we go. Can we get a good offensive sequence here for Nephew? All right. Oh, there we go. That's going to be the round here for Nephew. And again, Nephew is the kind of player, look, a very, very strong player. Again, Punk doesn't want to take the credit for his rise in strength, but he has become potentially the best player on the West Coast right now. If he could make this comeback.
And that was a clean whip punish. Ooh, he's going to be able to combo off the hell here. Wait a minute. Dark Neff growing. He can feel the power flowing through the veins. Never mind. Oh, that's what I'm talking about.
What a read!
Then he stepped straight through the V-trigger one. Now you got to guess for game after this. Oh!
Caught the backdash with that. And now here we go. ChrisCCH still with an opportunity. Sitting on that V-trigger. Remember, that builds up as he does. In case people don't, I mean, good stuff to Nephew right there, taking that game. But in case people aren't aware, Luke's V-trigger does act differently than everybody else's. It doesn't automatically drain. In fact, if he's not doing anything, it automatically goes up.
Indeed.
And it goes down as he uses the powered up Sandblaster or as he gets hit. So when he has that active, he kind of pressures the opponent to come in on him. It's almost like an anti-defensive mechanic.
Yeah, it definitely encourages the opponents to kind of be a little bit more aggressive than they feel comfortable being. Oh yeah, he's gonna get a combo again, catching the double jump.
Remember, that's one of the changes recently, that certain air movements like that cause you to get a hard knockdown from any button.
Great job recognizing that not the charge flash knuckle, nor did he have V-skill installed.
And that's the thing too. I feel like Nephew, that's a big punish, big punish. Okay. Whenever Nephew has had the chance to put ChrisCCH in the mix-up. Okay, there we go. Gets the throw. This is important here. I was about to say, yeah.
And Stand Fierce.
No.
Oh, that's a big combo, but EX Hell. He's still just going to hold that for now. Chris, immediate challenge. Stand Fierce is punished, but not heavily.
Oh, very fortunate. And again, reading that, but he wasn't able to juggle. But he's going to get the throw. And ChrisCCH going up one round.
That was so unfortunate, man. Nephew had an opportunity right there on that stand heavy punch punish, but couldn't make the most out of it. Again, that's just the inexperience with playing up against Luke right now. We're just not that used to it. He's the newest character in the game.
Oh, no. I'm not sure what Nephew was trying there. You saw the counter hit on ChrisCCH's side.
Yeah, I might have thought Chris would have got cheeky and maybe he tried to walk a throw or something, steal a turn back, but no, Chris has been keeping it real tight, taking his turns in solid ways.
What a reaction. What a decision by ChrisCCH to go for a V-shift in that situation.
Very smart. Has the option of V-break as well. We've seen him just do the V-shift into the EX. Oh no, you had the V-skill charged up. Okay, at least it whips. Another chance at life. Wait a minute.
Okay. But I mean, before that super, you could kind of see it, like I said, the difference between the crouching medium kicks. Kolin lands hers, but she can't do anything off of it.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then again, that stand medium kick, you highlighted that earlier, right? With all the buttons that we talk about with Luke, that stand medium kick is a great round ender. It's great when he has V-trigger on deck. So fast, and again, just stuffing wherever Kolin wants to be.
Such a great checking tool.
Yeah.
You just throw it out there, hard to whiff punish, and oh man, again, like you said, every button of Luke's is so good.
And I love him picking that stand medium kick in that situation just because you have to pull a wall up at that point, right? Your opponent has to come in, they have a pixel of life left. Just put up those fast, quick buttons that are going to make it hell for them to do so, and that's exactly what happens. So great stuff. Kolin, she has a pretty good mix once she gets in, but doing so has just been at the cost of so much life that once Nephew has gotten there, he just hasn't really had the time to execute W's.
And you know, one of my favorite things about, having the players playing offline here like this is, we can see their expressions. And I don't know, Nephew looked a little
discouraged, a little defeated.
Yes,
for sure.
there you go. And So this is a tough one now. But ChrisCCH, as they've been mentioning, been having just such a meteoric rise this year.
You can't whiff against this character, man. Ooh, that's what you could kind of trick them into thinking you're whiffing.
Ooh, he was still in hit stun, so the throw's not going to connect, but Nephew's still going to get the hit here. Here he goes. He's going to set the hail. No, this time actually dashes forward, gets the activation, and now the pressure in the corner.
Make something happen, bro. Make him pay for this. Just the EX in response that actually hit, so he combos with the shoulder. That's Oki as well.
Chris's defense has been amazing. He's been so patient, and I almost feel like Nephew needs to start trying to go for some more throws, but even when he did, ChrisCCH has been teching a lot of them as well.
And I love Chris. Oh no, the forward fierce crush counter tries to press his turn.
Check, you go back step into the Parabellum, get a nice non-quick rise, but that's gonna give Neff the chance for a throw. Making the comeback here.
Blocking both hits. Oh, and then the stand medium punch. You ain't doing nothing. ChrisCCH on set point.
Didn't even need to spend a single bar for that kill. He's coming in here with full resources.
I just want to say, I've been loving ChrisCCH's defensive fireball game. Like, when he's been bullied by Kolin and he gets outside of the range of all his great normals, he's been picking such good spots to use that fireball.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm sure a lot of people would agree with this. He might have one of the best, like, fireball games, from crouching medium kick into fireball, in the game right now.
And look at that. You condition your opponent to respect that range so much, then you get the dash-up throw. Chris just playing this textbook.
Oh, no confirming the super there. Might be too far away, actually.
Right now, Chris on the verge.
Oh, a trade. That's very fortunate for Nephew, but ChrisCCH, one good hit. What?
Wow, the throw. He's just always ready. I hit our block.
Oh,
the EX comes out on the flash knuckle. Wait a minute.
Okay, no, the cross-up doesn't land. He drops the combo.
Yeah, unfortunate. Now Chris gonna raw activate here, looking to close it out, and he does. 5-1. ChrisCCH, a monster. Pacific Northwest, I want to hear y'all stand up for your boy. He is Seattle, Washington through and through. Never a stint in California, never a stint anywhere else. That boy is born and raised up there, and he is putting it down.
Yeah, and ChrisCCH, like I said, talking to him, he said that, the West Coast's demise is highly exaggerated. And if, who is better to say that than the strongest potentially in the West Coast right now? ChrisCCH, as David mentioned, has been winning most of the matchups with Nephew recently. And so at this point in time, I mean, he's a young kid, but can we anoint him as the king of West Coast right now?
Yeah. 100%. Yeah, I would say
okay.
so. ChrisCCH has been on the grind. He's been entering every single thing he could possibly enter, the Wednesday night fights online, whatever is available to him. This man has been putting in his work. And, it's funny because Jammers and Logan refer to him as the young buck, right? Because he is 20 years old. But we've known about ChrisCCH since he was, 14, 13, 15? This man is a veteran in this community. That's why you see his skills shine through time and time again. And why he's doing it on this level as well. He's used to this tournament environment at 20 years old. That's nuts.
Right, exactly. I mean, what you said there, he's entering every tournament every week. And we have been seeing this just throughout the fighting game community. Those of us who have been playing in the weeklies, these online weeklies during this pandemic every week and just practicing every week, they are the ones who are starting to dominate. They are the ones who are starting to shine. And I wouldn't be surprised if, we get back to offline majors everywhere, that these are the consistent players to continue to shine.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't have said it better myself. I want to hear what the analysts at the desk have to say. Back over to y'all.
Well, in this celebration of the players here in the CPT season final, as far as the West Coast version goes, you saw the results right there. A very convincing 5-1 victory for ChrisCCH. Let's talk with the folks here on the panel about it. Punk, how do you feel that went?
Well, I'm going to go off and say, right away, I'm going to take words from my man Idom. That was destruction, right? That was kind of free, but, I told y'all, that's what I expected, honestly. And the reason so is ChrisCCH showed the matchup perfectly. He just zoned Nephew out. He just shot the sandblasters, and Nephew didn't really have a strategy for those, which is just really nothing you can do but try to make good reads over them with jump-ins. And Nephew tried to make some good reads with the jump-in, and my man Chris had the big answer.
Oh,
when I'm
yeah.
talking about big, he had the big answer. And boy,
Yeah.
I
My man
feel
did
for
like
Nephew.
40%.
Yeah, 3
trying to
special
double
moves
jump.
in one combo. I'm like, yeah. I mean, he studied the matchup. I mean, maybe Nephew studied the matchup, but I don't think you can study it too much when you got things like that going on. Chris played phenomenal. Even think Nephew played as good as he could in the matchup, but Chris was not. He wasn't having it, bro.
So, one, I know exactly what punish you're talking about. That was actually ridiculous. I don't know what game Luke was
He did a
playing
few
right
of them.
Yeah, those
More than once.
But what I actually want to point out here is the fact that if you go back to the no neutral 5v5, I talked up ChrisCCH a lot, but I also said that I feel like Nephew was actually currently the best in the West Coast, but I picked ChrisCCH. And I think that this set shows why. Of course, a part of it is because of the fact that he's using Luke, and I feel like Luke is extremely strong right now, but that's not actually what I want to focus on. What I want to focus on here is the fact that I think that ChrisCCH has something very important. He has that dog in him. You know what I'm saying? I'm serious about that. I do think that with a lot of players in the world, they get, and I'm not saying this about Nephew, but just in general, a lot of players get comfortable knowing that so-and-so is better than them. They feel like they're supposed to lose to certain people. Oh, I just lost to, Punk. Oh, well, that's Punk. You can't feel that way. Oh, well, that's Autumn. Oh, well, that's so-and-so. No, I don't think Chris feels that way at all. He shows a lot of regional pride with the West Coast and things like that. So I know when someone is that driven and they take things personal instead of letting things roll off of their back, that is what gets them in training mode. That's what gets them grinding. So I think it was only a matter of time before he usurped that throne.
Do you guys mind if I pull off the road for a second?
Oh,
Is that
no,
cool?
you good.
I just saw a drive-through, and I can't resist pulling in to this Arby's meaty moment.
Arby's, we have the meats.
Boy, oh boy, was there a lot of damage being done. And I'm not talking about like little tiny bits, I'm talking about big, beefy damage coming from ChrisCCH. He had the kind of damage that would do your taxes. And all that came from being optimal with it. In fact, I've heard him case on a lot of Luke players, and I'm going to call you out, case on a lot of Luke players throughout this entire week saying this, they should be doing this and that. And he showed it in his gameplay. He was sick with it. He was nice with it. And he also had, as Punk and then had pointed out, character-specific punishes, and so it's more than just having a strong character, right? You got to be more, labbing these things out. Can't
Yeah.
strong character win.
I think there was a ton of intricacies here. I mean, we've talked about how the matchup went prior and exactly went down with ChrisCCH. That's like him getting ready to order some sides with his roast beef and cheddar, right? He knows exactly what he wants with his meal. He's prepped for it thoroughly, and guess what? He's going to enjoy that entire meal thoroughly because, again, he was so studied against Nephew. It was just so specific in some of the punishes and approaches that Nephew had. You could tell very well that ChrisCCH was 1,000% prepared for this matchup.
Yeah, so I want to know, Punk, your opinion on this. Me and Brian debate about this a lot. How do you judge who is currently better, right? Like, because of the fact that, yes, of course, we know Nephew won the CPTs, but right now, Chris is, he kind of got his foot in an unfortunate place for Nephew as of late. So, if it comes down to like a character thing, I think the same thing happens with, in my opinion, with you and Otto. I think you're both elite players, but I think that sometimes, like me personally, I don't really want to give you no credit while you're right here. I'm just gonna skip over that part, but you get the gist of what I'm getting at here, right? Like,
Say it,
how
Rob.
much do you
Just
factor
say it,
in?
bro.
Just say it.
Just say it,
So,
Rob.
no.
I get what you're saying, but I honestly think it just really comes down to who's beating more people, Maybe Chris beat Nephew 100 times to 0, but do it really matter if Chris goes to or plays in a tournament, then loses to someone else and don't make it to Nephew that tournament? You can say that Chris is better, but he didn't get that far, right? So, I honestly think is way to prove if someone is the better is if you can beat more people, if you beaten more people.
They haven't had the
tournaments-
opportunity yet, though, have
But
they?
that's
Well,
the thing.
of
They
course
had
not.
the
I
whole
mean-
stage of the CPT to get through each and every one of those battles
And
for them to
Nephew
meet
won.
each other, right? So again, they're leaving a trail of bodies
You're right.
in their wake to get to that.
And now the fact that
platform in the
he's
first place.
beating them,
Yeah,
because he's with Luke,
it attributes to what
Yeah.
Punk was just saying. He left a trail of bodies in CPT and in like a handful of tournaments as well. So even in the IWO, ChrisCCH took it over Nephew.
true.
He had to do the
Good
same
point.
exact thing. So I think not only is it like the current placement or who the victor was for this exhibition, and I think Punk is totally correct. It's like a trail of bodies. How many people you've actually beaten in your career? Both of these players have done that consistently.
Yeah, and again, this is an exhibition. This is a celebration of the players, right? Not necessarily the goal to be like who's the individual greatest, right?
I think
but
not
it is,
all of them,
it's
but
it's
yeah.
different, you know. Tournaments, exhibitions, it's as we were talking about on No Neutral pre-show. It is just kind of a different skill set in some ways. First to 5 is a different skill set than a first to 2, than a first to 3, right? You play a little differently. You have little different options that you use. So obviously in this specific set, it was 5-1. I mean, pretty dominantly in Chris's favor. But I'm totally open to the idea that in the future, Nephew comes back maybe with a different character, maybe with different strategies, and makes it happen again for himself.
I want to give a little bit of love to ChrisCCH. He has been a demon in Wednesday Night Fights for the past couple of months, to be honest.
For sure.
If we're looking at the buys in the wake, the past couple of weeks have definitely been in his favor. So you got to give him a little bit of benefit.
He's winning
right
every
there.
week.
Yeah,
I mean,
every week.
If I had to say, I would definitely give ChrisCCH the edge right now and being the best player in the West Coast. I watch the region quite often because I think they have a lot of strong players even outside of Nephew and Chris. And right now, I think Chris has found his character and he's found his way in Street Fighter 5, honestly, and he's just growing into a great player. Hopefully we get to see him play against more areas of players, outside of the West Coast, and we can really see his skill shine.
Hey man, I appreciate that. Yeah, I think that's very well said. Let's talk about Magic the Gathering and about Secret Lair x Street Fighter. Head over to secretlair.wizards.com because for the first time, characters like Chun, Ryu, Ken, Zangief, Dalsum, Honda, Blanca, and Dan is on that card, on the Blanca card, I want to point out. Dan's on there. That's right, my man's on there. Please check it out. It's at secretlair.wizards.com.
And as you guys are both enjoying some of the Street Fighter V action and possibly playing some games yourselves, just to let you all know that for your indoor digital forays into street fighting, Game Gooders Blue Mirage Sunnies will protect you from the alleged evils of blue light with their blue light blocking technology. Unfortunately, they can't save you from the likes of Luke and all those sandblasters if they happen to hit your eye.
We've got some news about a dream collaboration between Street Fighter V and the mobile game King of Fighters All-Star. The collaboration will go live around the end of March, and a bunch of characters, including Ryu, Chun-Li, and more, are joining King of Fighters All-Star as special fighters. Look forward to an exclusive dungeon where Street Fighter V characters fight against KOF characters, exclusive battle cards, in-game events, and so much more. Again, many characters are being prepped for the collab. Additional info will be revealed through the official KOF social media, so look forward to that. Coming up next after this break, we are going to have Mago versus Higuchi. It's a match that I'm very much looking forward
That's
to.
going to be wow.
It's going to be a good one. You won't want to miss that.
Itimimasho!